the lecture series on pricing strategies. In this particular video, we will discuss about elasticity of demand and how it has an impact on pricing. So firstly, is a recap of demand concept. So what is demand? Demand represents the quantity of a product consumers are willing to buy at various prices. So when the price is different, like say if the product is sold at 10 rupees, how many units are the customers ready to buy? If the product is sold at 12 rupees, how much is the customer ready to buy? So demand represents the quantity of a product consumers are willing to buy at various prices. So the law of demand states that higher prices typically reduces the demand. So when the price increases, demand decreases. This is how the law of demand goes. So when it comes to price elasticity, what is price elasticity of demand? So price elasticity of demand measures how demand changes with price variations. So as price varies, how does demand vary? So it goes by the formula expected demand ED is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. So if the answer to the formula is above 1, which is greater than 1, then the demand is said to be elastic. When it's less than 1, demand is inelastic. And when it's 1, it's unitary demand. There are several factors that determine price elasticity, like availability of substitutes. The greater the substitutes, higher would be the elasticity of demand, because there's a lot of competition. It's very important that pricing is set in accordance with the competition. There'll be a lot of fluctuations in pricing, and this will lead to a lot of fluctuations in demand. So thereby, higher elasticity. Secondly, necessity versus luxury. In general, products that fall under the category of necessities have inelastic demand. So any product that is a necessity has inelastic demand. Say, for example, electricity, fuel, they all go by inelastic demand. On the other hand, luxury products have elastic demand. Also, time period. Elasticity of demand increases over time. Just with time, customers gradually adjust to what is there, and so there's an increase in elasticity of demand. Why is it important to understand elasticity of demand in pricing? So it's very important to know how demand varies with variations in pricing, because with a higher price, there is maximum revenue when it comes to inelastic demand. As far as essential goods are concerned, the demand is inelastic. And here, the higher the price, the revenue is maximum, because like when you increase the price, demand does not decrease. Or when you there's no big difference in elasticity of demand when it comes to necessity and essential goods. So here, when you increase the price, you obviously maximize your revenue. On the other hand, for the category of elastic demand, say for example, for the luxury commodities, when you lesser the price, when you reduce the price, you'll be able to increase the sales volume, because here demand is elastic. It actually fits into the law of demand. When there's a drop in price, demand increases. So when there's a sale happening in a shop, it's obvious that there are more customers going there rather than a time when there's no sale. Say when Zudio had its 99 sale, or when Westside had its 499 sale, all of us jumbled into the shops. The shops were full. So that's because when you lessen the price, when you reduce the price, you obviously increase the sales volume. But this is only in situations of elastic demand, that is pertaining to wants and luxury items. So there are several goods that you can classify as elastic and inelastic. Common examples being, as far as inelastic goods, it's fuel and electricity. For elastic goods, electronics, clothing, accessories, etc. So, as by general observation, we may see the fuel prices do not vary very frequently. Electricity charges, they just vary once a year. There's an upgradation of price hardly once in a year, or once in 2 or 3 years. Whereas when it comes to electronics, clothing, etc., every day there's a difference in price. Every day there's a difference in demand. Even morning and evening, there's a huge difference. So why do you think this difference is there? I'll leave this question to you. Ponder over why there is a difference in elasticity for different category of products. So the practical implications of understanding elasticity are as below. Elasticity analysis helps set optimal prices. So when you have a proper idea of how elasticity functions and how elasticity of demand impacts pricing parameters, then you'll be able to set optimal prices for your commodities. Setting an optimal price enhances your competitive advantage. And this is very critical for those industries having price sensitive customers. So if you're operating in a industry where customers are very sensitive to price, say for example, 1 liter of milk is sold at 42 rupees, and when it becomes 43, customers become sensitive because milk is a commodity that they buy every day. 1 rupee increase in the price will definitely seem huge to them. So for industries like that, it's very important that you also pay attention to elasticity of demand. So we'll go with a small activity. Calculate the elasticity here. If the price of a product increases by 10% and demand decreases by 20%, calculate elasticity. So as discussed before, the formula for expected demand is percentage increase in demand divided by percentage increase in price. So it's 20% by 10%, which is 2, which means the demand here is elastic. So I hope this problem would have given you an understanding of how to calculate expected demand and how to calculate expected demand with variations in demand and pricing. So price elasticity acts as a guide to strategic pricing. Only when you understand demand, when you understand the elasticity of demand, and when you understand how pricing varies with elasticity of demand, you'll be able to set a strategic pricing for your commodity. You'll be able to gain a competitive advantage in the market. Also, understanding demand, elasticity of demand, pricing, impact of elasticity of demand on pricing, etc., will help businesses predict the impact of revenue. It will help businesses understand how their revenue flows at the present, how it will flow in the future, provided there is a predicted variation in demand. So I hope this video was helpful to you in understanding about demand, elasticity of demand, and its impact on pricing. So it's very important that when you are working at pricing a commodity, you focus on which type of product you're dealing with, which type of industry you fall in, and what is the elasticity factors with respect to those industries. So see you soon with another interesting content.